Good morning. My name is Walter McDowell, and I'm the founder and board chair of Best NC and the retired CEO for Wachovia in Virginia, North and South Carolina. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2023 Education Innovation Lab. I am so glad you are with us today, and I look forward to the conversations we will have. Best NC represents over 100 business leaders who are deeply committed to improving educational outcomes in North Carolina. Our priority is improving the educator pipeline through what we call educator innovation, because we know that teachers and school leaders are the key to helping every student achieve academic success. The business leader members of Best NC believe it is time for North Carolina to make significant new investments in education. And we believe that begins with substantial teacher pay increases. We also believe those teacher pay increases must achieve several strategic objectives. Pay that ensures vacancies are filled in every school district. Pay that ensures that students in low-performing schools have access to the very best school leaders and to the most highly effective teachers. Pay that ensures we can attract and retain math and science teachers. And pay that ensures teachers can fulfill their professional aspirations without leaving the classroom. Now, let me say again, the business leader members of Best NC believe it is time for North Carolina to make significant new investments in education. We can do this, and actually we've done it before. 10 years ago, we were coming out of the Great Recession, and teacher pay had been frozen for 6 years. But in only 5 years, North Carolina invested over $1 billion in teacher pay. And one of the most important investments was to front-end load the pay schedule. Now, while the objective 10 years ago was to repair the damage from the Great Recession, the opportunity we have today is a strategic investment. Starting salaries must be competitive with neighboring states. Teachers must receive increases as their effectiveness grows, and veteran teachers must be properly compensated. Now, the beneficiaries of these strategic increases will be our students who deserve the very best teachers. Now, in the Innovation Lab, we encourage candid conversations and civil discourse. Tough conversations can be had today if we stay focused on the common goal of giving every student access to highly effective teachers. Together, we can do great things. Before we get down to business, let me thank our friends at SAS for hosting this event. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Best NC's Vice President for Policy and Engagement, Leah Sutton.
Good morning. Welcome to the 2023 Education Innovation Lab. I'm Leah Sutton, Vice President of Policy and Engagement at Best NC. We are really grateful to you for choosing to spend the day with us and giving us your time. We know everyone is busy, especially in the holiday season, so thank you for being here. Before we get started, I do want to recognize a few elected officials who are with us today. Thank you all for being here. We have Representative Hugh Blackwell, Representative John Torbett, and a few others who are joining us later today. So Representative Kenneth Fontenot, Representative Frank Sossaman, Representative Rosa Gill, Senator Michael Lee, Senator Tom McGinnis, and Senator Natalie Murdoch. We are also excited to have staff from the Office of the Governor, Speaker Moore, Senator Berger, and Superintendent Truitt, as well as staff from the State Board of Education. So thank you to all of the policymakers and staff for being with us today for these important conversations. I also want to extend a special welcome to the Personnel Administrators Association of North Carolina. You all are on the front lines of recruiting and retaining our teachers and trying to staff our schools, and we're so grateful to you all for being here today and lending your expertise. Each year, the Education Innovation Lab brings together key stakeholders from across the state to dig deep into issues facing our education system. Over the last 3 years, we focused on teacher recruitment through an initiative called NC Stride that many of you were a part of. We are proud to say today that of the 5 recommendations that came out of NC Stride, all of them have made significant progress, one of them being Teach NC and another being teacher apprenticeship. And there's just recently been a state-funded teacher apprenticeship program in the state budget. So we're grateful that this innovation lab actually has yielded results for our educators and our education system. As you know, today's focus is on teacher pay. As Walter said it well, teachers are the #1 in-school factor for student success. Teachers matter. That's why Best NC works so tirelessly to strengthen the teacher pipeline. And of course, compensation, a professional compensation structure is one key component of that. I think we can all agree that the teacher compensation system in North Carolina is not recruiting enough talent into our pipeline and not helping us retain the teachers, the quality teachers that we need. We can agree that this is a challenge. Over the last 10 years, Best NC has talked with hundreds of educators and school leaders about compensation, and we wanted to share with you a few things that we heard. So from an early career teacher, this is something we've heard a lot. I cannot afford to keep my teaching job and pay for childcare for my 2 children. From a mid-career teacher, the unfilled vacancies in my school have added so much to my workload. From a veteran teacher, I wanted to do more in my school, but I also wanted to be paid more. That's not an unreasonable request in most professions. And from an HR director, it is very difficult to recruit and keep special education teachers. It might be easier if we could pay them more. And importantly, these conditions don't just affect the teachers and the staff in the building, they impact our students. Every teaching vacancy in our public schools means students are going without the great educators they deserve. That's why we spent at Best NC several months in late 2022 and early 2023 researching nearly every aspect of teacher pay, both in North Carolina and across the country. And we compared teacher pay practices to those in other high-skilled industries. This research and analysis was published in our report, Teacher Pay in North Carolina, A Smart Investment in Student Achievement. And that report is the inspiration for today's Innovation Lab. We will be highlighting key points and recommendations from this report throughout the day. You heard Walter hint at some of those, and this will be the focus of our conversations. In your lab folders, you have a copy of the executive summary of this report, and we've also shared it with you in advance, so we hope you've had a chance to take a look. We also have several online resources for you available related to the Innovation Lab. So in your program, when you open it up, there's a QR code. It's on the inside, the second page of the inside fold of that program at the top. And from there, you can access information on our lab speakers. We have a really great agenda for you today. Innovation Lab data, teacher pay blogs. We'll have a new video that'll be available this afternoon and a lot more. So we hope you'll navigate to that online lab hub. We're also excited that everyone who's attending today is going to get a copy of The Great School Rethink, which is a new book by Rick Hess, our keynote speaker. You'll get that this afternoon in your afternoon breakout session, so please make sure you stick around for that. The sessions are going to be great, but you can also get your book. So your participation and willingness to share are critical to our success today. Our team is going to be taking notes throughout the day. We're going to be collecting your feedback in our breakout sessions and through several surveys. We are going to use your feedback, so please give it to us. We want to understand how different stakeholders feel about teacher pay, feel about the conditions and the challenges and the recommendations. So please give us your feedback. But with that in mind, I want to share our Innovation Lab norms so that we can have a respectful, productive, and thought-provoking day. The first is to be present. Do your best to minimize distractions and stay focused on our lab goals. Participate. I just said we really want to hear from you. We come earnestly trying to learn from one another today, so we really want to hear from you and hope you'll participate, especially in those breakout sessions. Support productive collaboration. We will use a yes and mindset today, build on each other's ideas, and address challenges as they arise. Share airtime equitably, listen to one another, and invite the contribution of all members. Ensure a safe space. So we welcome new ideas, but we don't want you all to post so-and-so said this at the Innovation Lab on social media. So let's protect one another's confidentiality so that we can have a safe space for open dialogue. And then have grace. This is finally this last note, which I just shared about social media. We encourage you to post on social media. We have these hashtags here for you, but please don't share direct quotes and avoid attribution of a specific thought to a specific person.